welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I last vlogged. I've just been so busy and I want to vlog when I'm in my natural essence. So today I'm talking about my pregnancy story and I can't wait to share it with you. Come here, sit. Benji.
I was rolling.
Benji, come here. Benji, sit, sit. Benji, Benji, leave the cat alone. Okay, so we just had like a dog on cat war. They're like out to get each other, but they love each other, so it's kind of odd. They'll cuddle one day, I have faith. Say hi everybody, Benji. Hello. Hello. Okay, okay. Okay, so welcome back. I just got back from the river. Hey. You're gonna let me vlog in peace? He's like looking for the cat. The cat's in this tree here. And she's like making her way down. Oh my God.
Benji.
Okay, so we just got back from the river, which was amazing. It makes me feel like I'm on holiday every day, which is just the best thing ever. And that's what you need to be in your natural essence. And I find that it relaxes me and it makes me feel soulful. So now let's begin. Let's begin talking about my pregnancy story, my experience, how I felt, and you know what my challenges were. I found out I was pregnant in May, around then. It was interesting, it was hard. I was kind of confused because so many changes were happening. Kalani is a blessing, you know, she's the best thing that's happened to me and Tim in our lives. She's taught us so much and she continues to teach us things that I can't imagine not knowing, you know, like the love, the unconditional love you have for your child, watching them grow and be ambitious and challenge themselves is the best thing that anyone could ever be able to watch. So I'll begin with my first trimester. I think the first trimester was my hardest. I was trying to adapt to the fact that I was sick. I felt like I was dying. I was like dying of hunger. It felt like I hadn't eaten in like a week and I needed just to eat everything in the cupboard. I was working, so it did distract me at the start, and then we decided that it would be best for me to go traveling and just experience the venturing out and the different cities and experience life on the other side, which was it was really fulfilling, you know. It taught me that there's a complete different other world out there, well, country, and that people are different and the world is a beautiful place and it needs to be seen. I went to Toronto, I went around Canada a little bit, I went to the US, I went to New York, Virginia, which was really amazing. I wish I got to see more. I was there a while. I was traveling for 6 weeks, which was great. But you know, there's more time for that in the future. The second trimester, I got back home and I had popped, which was cool. I wasn't trying to find out the sex of Kalani until the end, but I just couldn't wait. It was so much easier to buy things for a baby when you know if you're having a girl or boy. So I found out around 25 to 26 weeks what I was having, and when he said it was a girl, I was so shocked. My whole time I was pregnant, I had a lot of different people say, it's a boy. You're sitting this way, you're sitting that way, your belly's like low or high, whatever. If it's like this, then you're having a boy, you're having a boy. Everyone said boy, and I convinced myself it was a boy. I even found boy names, and then for some reason, when I found out I was a girl, I was just like, oh my God. Like, I want a girl. I've always wanted a girl. Like, I just want a mini-me, my first baby. I wanted a girl. And I was having dreams that I had a boy, and then like my sister would have dreams that I had a girl and boy. Like, it was just so confusing. So my second trimester, I had popped, everything was fine. I was seeing my doctors, everything looked fine. I was growing. I didn't really have any issues. Yeah. And then the third trimester is when it started to be like a bit draining. At this stage, I didn't want to be pregnant anymore. My back was aching. My feet were swollen. I felt really heavy. I was quite petite, so I stretched a lot. All these midwife tales about how you use all these different ointments to do this and that, and it will stop you from getting stretch marks, or like don't itch yourself. I avoided a lot of things, and I did a lot of things to avoid these things, but they didn't help. I got ripped up like a tiger attacked me, which is fine. It's beautiful, like having marks across your body. Sometimes you feel shit about it, but it's really amazing because it shows you that you've been through a lot and your body's changed and you're growing a human, and that's the hardest thing that anyone can do, and you're doing it. So I just want to say like a big ups to everyone that's gone through pregnancy and after pregnancy. It's really hard, but it's a life changer and it's for the best. So let's just get straight into, well, my pregnancy wasn't that exciting just until the end, I think. Yeah. So the end was the last trimester. I went to all my appointments, I did what I needed to do, everything was fine. And then you have this feeling that you're always in labor. They say Braxton Hicks is like contractions before labor. And I was always like, I'm in labor, Tim. Oh my God, we need to go to the hospital. I think I was bouncing on this ball trying to start labor. I was looking at all the stuff you can do to start labor. I didn't want to take castor oil. A lot of people said to take it, but I never did. I tried drinking lots of tea. That didn't help. She wasn't ready. She just didn't want to come out, and she was huge, and she was kicking me in the rib. Like every time I'd lay on one side, she would just like attack me. It was just crazy. And then around 40 weeks I went in, and Kalani was quite quiet most of my pregnancy. She would roll and kick, but she wasn't like a rapid mover. So I went into the doctors on my due date, which was the 8th of Feb, and I spoke to them. Everything seemed fine, but I did mention how she wasn't moving much and that she was like, she had slowed down a fair bit, and I only thought that because she had no space. So I said, okay, well, she stopped moving because she has no room. The doctor said that they just wanted to give me an ultrasound just to check how Bubs is doing. I was 40 weeks, so they said that if they needed to induce me, it would be fine. I waited in the hospital for quite a while, and then I saw a doctor, an ultrasound lady, and she just checked my fluids and everything looked like they were good. And then I had a doctor check if I was dilated. I wasn't. I was completely shut, so my cervix hadn't even opened the slightest bit. And being checked to see if your cervix is dilated is the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life. Okay, so then she was like, you're not dilated. Then she took me into an office and she said, well, you are 40 weeks and that there is a chance that nothing's wrong at all, or there's a small chance that something may be wrong, but we don't want to take the risk, so we think we should induce you. And that's what they did. They put me into the hospital. I wanted to leave. I wanted to go home and pack my own shit, but I didn't get the chance. So I called Tim saying, hey, they're going to induce me today. The baby's coming. He rushed around, grabbed everything he needed to grab, met me at the hospital. And we were upstairs in like a shared room. I was only there for like 20 minutes. The bed was so fun, the button, I was like, And then we went downstairs to the birthing suite because they wanted to induce my labor, but first they needed to have my cervix dilated. And that's when they needed to do, they needed to put like this gel on a syringe and put it on my cervix so that it ripens it, and that way they can have access and to break my waters. So what they did was they put me in downstairs in the birthing suite. If anyone knows me personally, they know that I am so scared of hospitals. I'm just like a fearful person, but I've always been scared of hospitals, and it just creeps me out. So I was like begging Tim not to leave, so he stayed until whatever time, and then he left and came back in the morning. They did a round of gel, and then they checked me 6 hours later to see if the gel had worked. The first time it didn't work. 6 hours later they did it again, it didn't work. It felt really like painful, and then the third time they did it, and I couldn't handle. I think if I say that was the most painful bit of it all, it really was. That was the worst bit. So they had checked me, I wasn't dilated. The third time, I think I was like just like a centimeter, not even. And she broke my waters. Oh my God, I remember that. I was just sobbing because I just had enough. I was on that gas like, and I wasn't even in active labor yet. So after that, we hooked me up to all the induction stuff. They put like an injection in me and all this wire bullshit. My mum thought I was dying because in Africa you don't do it that way. And then they started labor. I don't even remember when I had my first contraction. All I know was I was so shocked. I was just like, it was, when they say that you don't remember the pain, you actually don't remember. I can't say what it feels like or how it was, but all I can say is your body knows what it's doing. You let your body be in its essence and you let it do what it needs to do. And that's what I did. I originally wanted to have a water birth. That didn't work out, and I wanted to do it natural, which I got the chance to do it natural, and I wanted to do it drug-free. So I did 8 hours of labor with no drugs except gas, if that counts. And then at this stage I was begging for the epidural. I'm like, hey lady, please give me an epidural, please, 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 please. I was begging for like 2 hours. She's like, sorry, someone was getting a C-section, so they couldn't give me the epidural at the time. I was so shocked. I was like rocking like I was gonna die. It felt like death. I was having an out-of-body experience. It wasn't that bad. Well, now I say it wasn't that bad. It's bearable. Okay, so scratch that. I had gone through that, and then I was begging for the epidural, and then finally some guy, which was I think the worst part of it all. If I wasn't so drugged up, I think I would have told him that he's just so mean. He was so mean. He just like barged in the room. I had like light music playing, and I had the lights dimmed, and it was just amazing. Like the environment was really amazing. I had Tim with me, I had my sister by my side and my family outside, and that helped me a lot. And this guy decides to barge in the room, turn on the hospital lights, which are really bright, and just start rambling at me. I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even hear anything he said. I was just saying, yes, 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 I need this epidural. He was quick. I give it to him. He was quick, but he was mean. So he hooked me up. I don't even remember the pain. I don't think it hurt because I was in so much pain that the epidural is nothing. He did it, whatever, he did what he needed to do, then he went out. Tim was really like angry because this guy just ruined our vibe. Like he just destroyed the tranquility. And then I got to press the button for the first time. So he's like, you press this button when you want to go, like when you need more of the fluid, the epidural fluid, and I just pressed it, and it felt like cold water going down my spine, and I couldn't feel anything. It just felt amazing. Like I still remember that feeling of like the water. And then and then the lady just told me that every time it doesn't light up, then you've had enough. I just kept pressing that. That was it. I sat there for a few hours. They checked me at that stage. When they checked me, I didn't feel anything, so I kind of wish I got the epidural at the start, because every time they had to do a check, it was just so terribly painful. They said I was 7 centimeters at that stage, and I was like, yes, you know, oh, hallelujah. They checked me and I was 7 centimeters. I was like, thank God. And I was like freezing. I was like shaking. Like, I think that's what the epidural does to you. And one of my legs was like numb, like crampy numb. Anyways, forget that. And so then after like another 2 hours, Tim's sleeping on the floor. I'm like drooling because finally I got like an hour's sleep. I was there for like 3 days. Altogether, I think I was there for like 5 days. Yeah. So I was like drooling on my pillow, and then the lady woke me up and said she needed to check me again. She checked me, and this stage, it was like the AM. I was 10 centimeters. And I was like, yes, okay. She's like, well, in an hour, you're gonna push. Okay, I'm down for that. I was happy. I was psyched. I had a nap. I was ready. I was like, I can't feel anything. I'm gonna get this baby out. Let's do this. When the time comes, I have this lady, this midwife, and I have this trainee in the room. I'm making code words to the midwife. I'm like, listen, this trainee, I don't want her to touch me. I said to the midwife, I wasn't sure about the trainee because I was just like traumatized anyway. So I was like, should I let this trainee touch me? The trainee was amazing. She did all the right things. She helped me, she pushed me, and I finally got this baby out, but it took me like 2 hours. I was hyped at the start. She was like, in 40 minutes if you get it done, there's no worries, like we're not gonna intervene. But if you take longer than an hour or something, they intervene, they help you. So an hour goes past. Kalani's head was right there. She was right there. Everyone's like, she's right there, she's right there. I'm like, no, she's not. They're like, touch her head. I'm like trying to find her head. She kept going in and out, in and out. And then the epidural wasn't working. What? And then I was like, why isn't the epidural working? Why did I get it if it's not going to work? And the lady's like, well, it's actually not meant to help with the pressure of the baby. Once a baby dropped, I started squirming. I was in like agony. It felt like I had this like brick right there and I had to push it out, but it wouldn't come out, and it was just, it was so painful. I still remember that. I was just like, guys, leave me alone. I'm not pushing anymore. I came to the stage where I was like, she's not coming out. I've been here nearly 2 hours and she doesn't want to come out. So then we decided that I decided I wasn't going to push anymore. And I said to the doctor, so many doctors came in that room. I said to the doctor, I'm like, hey, please help me. I was like begging her. I still remember. I was like, please help me, please, 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 please. She's like, no, you can do it. You can push her out. She's right there. She's crowning. I'm like, no. Listen, lady, I cannot push her out. She has a big head. Get her out. I was cursing. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. She's like, yes, you can. I couldn't do it. So she's like, okay, I'll help you. She had to give me an episiotomy. I don't know. Episiotomy? I don't know what it is, but it's when they snip ya. So I didn't feel anything, if you're all thinking whatever. And then she put a suction on Kalani's head and they just pulled while I pushed, and within like a minute she was out. And it felt like I got rid of it, like all this pressure. And once she was out, I was just like, I'm not having time for anyone. I need to sleep. I was so like tired and shocked that I was just like, I went through nearly 3 days of like just like lack of sleep. I wasn't eating. I was exhausted. My back hurt. I just pushed a child out and I let them cut me. Like I was just, then they stitched me up. My stomach was like really intense. I had severe split muscles. They call it a dram. And I had like you could see I think it was my intestines. I don't know, but it was some like twirly thing. It was terrible because I was so petite and my muscles were so tight that she was so big that I just split. And it's quite common in pregnant women. I got to the room and finally they were just like, all right, well, we are going to show you how to bath and take care of a child. And I breastfed and that's all I wanted to do. Tim changed her first nappy. I wasn't having any of it. I was just exhausted. And then once we got home, Kalani was an angel. She slept perfectly. She's just a natural being. Like, she's just pure. And, you know, I loved her from the moment she was born. Well, let's just say I loved her, but I wasn't interested. But now I love her unconditionally. You know, I can't say much besides she is me and I am her, and we love her, and she's made our family so much stronger. And when she grows up, she's going to be the most amazing human being, as she already is. Yeah, so I know my story was kind of all over the place, but that was my experience and that's what I got from it. I really do want to have kids in the future because they're just the most innocent beings, and I didn't really like being pregnant, but I loved the experience now. When I look back on it, I loved my year and it made us stronger. We did have difficulties with, you know, just adapting to changes in life and having to come to terms with the fact that we're not going to be alone anymore. It's not just going to be us two, it's going to be a family, and we have to work hard and love each other to make everything right. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to see more of my vlogs, I've got a lot more coming. I'm sorry about delaying it this long. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.